Welcome back to JB Reviews. I've done a few videos on this Ram 3500. It's my first time driving it today though. So I have my 6.6 gas, and as you guys know probably, this has a 6.4 liter HEMI. And this is a very important test because GM just came out with the stamp of approved 10-speed Allison for the gas engine. And most people know this, but Ram has the 8 HP 75 8-speed. So which one gets better fuel economy, but which one accelerates faster to 60? In this video, we're gonna find out. All right, let's go ahead and go. I'm gonna go ahead and reset the trip 1, or trip A as they call it. I went to Costco and splashed a little bit of 91 in the tank. I put about 3 gallons in there. So the reason why I did that is I wanted it to be as close to apples as possible, because I'm pretty sure these trucks get delivered with either 87 or 85, but it was pretty empty. It was like showing low range basically. One thing you'll like figure out really quickly, when you drive a Ram, it feels like you're driving a really tight sports car. This truck is so tight. It's like night and day different from a GM or even a Ford. I think even Fords are a little bit softer than this, but I like the feel of it. I think it feels comfortable in its own way, but when you hit bumps, that's when it gets a little rough. But we're gonna go ahead and set up for the 0 to 60 actually here in about a few minutes. So let me go ahead and get everything ready to go. I do hate my draggy, guys. This thing sucks. I wish I would have bought something else, and I might at some point buy something else because this thing sucks. It just works when it wants to work. But like I said, I'm not gonna talk about it anymore. Let's go ahead and get set up here, and let's talk about the horsepower and torque really quickly. So here it is. This is a 6.4 liter HEMI, and this is going to be good for 410 horsepower and 429 pound-feet of torque. Made it to an 8-speed transmission known as the 8 HP 75, made by ZF. And this truck was optioned with the 410 rear, so that's going to probably affect fuel economy a little bit, but probably not by much. All right, here we go. $30. 60. Wow, that wasn't bad at all. So being higher above elevation is going to affect the horsepower a little bit, so that's obviously going to affect 0 to 60. I'm in Utah, so that's going to probably affect it quite a bit because we're pretty high above elevation. But right now, I'm just running about 60 miles an hour. When I go back the opposite direction, the traffic might be a little bit better, but it's only 12:23 and traffic sucks in Utah. I guess everyone's moving here, so it's really hard to really get a consistent speed. But on the next road, I'll show you guys some of the RPMs, and we'll probably be able to run about 65-ish, 70 miles an hour maybe. Now I gotta show you guys something really quickly. Let's see here, cargo camera. I have my generator in the back. And the only reason why I brought it was because I was supposed to do RV reviews, but I saw this truck was at the dealership, so I figured I wanted to do the testing kind of apples to apples. So I took it out of the Chevy, and when we get back, I will put it back in there and we'll do the exact same tests. But we're gonna get on another road that doesn't have as much traffic. Right now the MPG doesn't look good because we've been riding in town a little bit, and now we're having to accelerate one more time back up to about 65, 70. So let's go ahead and check that out real quickly. There we go. So hopefully you guys can see the RPMs there. We should be in 8th gear. Actually, I don't have to guess. There it is, 8th gear. So we're just under 2,000 RPMs. I don't know what the speed limit is on this road, but let me check it real quick. Hold on one second. There it is. So we're at 70 now, and we're just at 2,000. Like, we're really like at 1950, maybe 1980 RPMs. That's not bad. Truck is nice and smooth now. Now this truck does feel a little bit stiffer because, as you would expect, a diesel weighs more, so it's gonna help it to ride a little bit better, but this truck is noticeably stiffer too. Here are the mirrors. And I really do like this interior. Can't beat it. So here's the gross axle rating up front, 5,500 pounds. The rear is 7,000, and you have 11.4 GWR. And this truck has a pretty good payload at 3,968 pounds. We're at the midpoint right now. We were at 11.7, but we've been waiting at this light here. So now we're going now, and we're gonna go back the opposite direction, and we'll see how it does. Let's go ahead and check out some of the noise inside of here. About 65. 67, 68 next to the window here. And Rams are quiet out back, 63 to 65. I've even seen 61 for the mega cabs in the past. I'm not sure if the crew cab and mega cab makes a difference, but they're definitely the quietest truck back there so far. I think I did a video with a Ford and a couple of Chevys, and I want to say they were probably 65, 66 back there too. So we're about, what, 2,200 RPMs at 80. I gotta slow back down though. Like I said, it's really hard to get up to speed here in Utah. There's just so much traffic. But yeah, 2,000 RPM is about what you're gonna see here. That's not bad. I mean, this has the 410 rear. I don't know if I've mentioned that yet, but 410 rear. And yeah, if you want max tow, that's what you're gonna have to get here. The 8-speed is super smooth. One thing that you're gonna notice when you drive a gas HD is how vague and light the steering wheel becomes. Like, I don't know what it is. My Chevy has the same issue. When you turn the steering wheel, you can feel the sway. So you probably want to air up these tires. Let's see where we are. We're at, okay, yeah, these tires they need to be aired up. They're all over the place, by the way. I don't know if you guys saw that. And then check this out. This is the temperatures. Here's where Ram is beating Chevy. They don't give this to you in the Chevy. You have to just see the transmission fluid, and then you just see like the gauges, but they always show in line. So I like a number readout like this. This is great. You can kind of hear the MDS. It like makes like a, it's not like a shuddering sound, but like it sounds like the engine's under load. We just made it back. Here's where we are for fuel economy. I'm gonna stop right here. 13.8 MPG, 13.7 miles driven, and 19-minute drive. So, you know, that's not bad. 13.8, that's not bad. Let's go. So I'm gonna go the exact same route. And one thing I want to mention to you guys, this draggy, it's not that cloudy out, but it wouldn't latch on until like the very last minute. So thankfully you guys saw the 0 to 60. So I'm only saying that because I'm hoping it does it again. I always turn it off to preserve the battery, but let's go ahead and connect it, and we'll be at that spot in like 3 to 5 minutes, and you guys will see the 0 to 60. But let's talk about this powertrain. The 6.6 liter under the hood of the Chevy has a new transmission for 2024, if you don't know. 401 horsepower, 464 pound-feet of torque, and this has a stamp of approved Allison, is what they call it. One thing about this truck is you only can get the 373 rear, and I think that should be something that Chevy should fix maybe in the future. Alrighty, let's go.
$30. 60.
'I want you to know I don't want you to see my face when I do the 0 to 60, but this thing sucks. It just won't work with the other camera view. Don't know why, it just won't work. But this truck's slow. I've told you guys, I don't know when I'm gonna post all my videos, but I did a comparison with the Duramax, and it was terrible. Like, the Duramax just walked this thing. And as you can see, the Ram beats it with 0 to 62. So now the only thing this thing can do is make up on fuel economy. Now, one of my followers, Matthew Anderson, he has a 6-speed Chevy Silverado with a 6.6, and he's mentioned that having the 10-speed is not going to really help you on MPG, and he said it could actually get worse. And his theory is the final gears in the 6-speed are the same as a 10-speed. And so I guess the biggest difference for your MPG for a truck like this would be the rear end. If you decided you wanted to re-gear it down to like a 342, which I don't know why anyone would do that. If anything, I'd rather go to a 410. But no one buys these trucks for fuel economy. I just like to do these tests because there's no ratings for them. That's the only reason why I like to do these. I think they're kind of fun personally. And I get to get a feel for these trucks back to back. Now, oh man, this truck is just as worse as the Ram. The independent front suspension makes this truck sway terribly. So I'm gonna air these tires with the 80 PSI when I have the chance because they don't feel good. But let's go ahead and check out the RPMs at 60 and 70 miles an hour. Up to 60, and here we are. It almost looks the same. Oh no, there it is. It just dropped down to it just dropped down to like almost what, 1500 RPMs there. So this does have the dynamic radar cruise control, so let me see if I can get up to 70. I may have to deactivate it because the cars seem to be going a little bit slower up front there. You don't feel the shifts at all. You can kind of feel the shifts in the Ram, but they're very, very faint. So yeah, we're definitely lower on the RPMs. We were just at 2,000 RPMs with that Ram. We're probably about 1900 in between there at 70. So that's not bad at all. My bad, guys. We rolled right through that light at the midpoint. So we're at 11.6. I think we're almost the exact same for fuel economy. Wow. Not bad at all. But let's go ahead and check out the noise volume in here. We're still accelerating up to about 70 because that's about what I was doing on this road with the Ram. .65 to about 66. 67 to about 68. 63 to 64 out back, so that's not too bad. But yeah, all in all, this truck needs more horsepower. I'm just being honest. Or it needs to have that 410 available. I know that I've said that all it needs is the 10-speed, but I did a video saying horsepower, 10-speed, and lower gearing out back. That was what I said, and I think that it needs all three. It needs more horsepower for sure. I don't think it needs more torque. I just feel like it just doesn't have that grunt off the line. Like that 6.4 HEMI, it feels stronger. I could tell that it was faster off the line. But this truck is a lot more comfortable. Don't get me wrong, like this truck is soft. And let's talk about the air suspension and the oval leaf springs that this truck has. I didn't talk about it in the last video because I knew I was going to do a drive and I wanted to really get my thoughts together for this. So I think that this is the suspension that's a better buy, obviously, because it's free. Or it's not free, but it's not an added option. If you get the air suspension, it's $1,705. And it does help a lot with the comfort, but it's still a stiff riding truck. And with this truck, if you tow a fifth wheel or a trailer, I mean, those over the leaf springs are going to help with stability going down the road. And you can still add airbags if you like. I guess you just have to figure out for yourself what's more important. I think that this truck does a little bit better job for the price point, and that's why I think the air suspension on the Ram, I would never buy one without one again. I did it before, I will never do it again, but I think that if you're getting a Ram, the air suspension is worth it, but you're gonna pay more money for that truck up front already. So that's where this truck kind of makes more sense for me. So we're right at 2,000 RPMs at 80 miles an hour. Let me get over into the left lane. Like I said, traffic's pretty heavy right now. We're going up a little bit of an incline, so it just shifted down. It's probably in 8th gear. But here we go, 80 miles an hour again. So we're just under 2,000 RPMs. It's not bad. You can see that the transmission is at 162 degrees. And that's like the only temperature that you can really see. You don't really see the oil, it's just like a gauge. And they all show within line, which is normal because we're not doing anything. So we're just driving down the road. So here are the numbers for my truck. Actually, let's start down here. So gross axle weight rating up front is 4,800 pounds, but the rear is 7,250. And then here is the payload. So this truck is kind of heavy, 7,750 pounds is what it weighs on a curb. And then here's some of the towing figures. All right, so we're pulling in next to this cabin chassis 5500. 12.7. Actually, this is the wrong one. I'm so sorry. So 12.9 MPG, 13.8 miles driven, 44 miles an hour, and then the time is 19 minutes. So yeah, the Ram beat it by 1 MPG. So listen, I haven't been really impressed with this powertrain in terms of the fuel mileage and the acceleration. So where it needs horsepower at is like, you know, between 60 and 80 miles an hour. If you need to pass someone, I feel like this truck just feels sluggish. Now, the Ram cleaned up today. 0 to 60, I mean, really all the performance aspects was better here, and the MPG was better. But don't get me wrong, the 10-speed is way more refined than the 8-speed in the Ram. It just is. This truck, you do not feel the shifts, and it definitely feels better top end with the gear shifts. I can't wait to put it behind a trailer. I wish I could, you know, tow with a HEMI like this with 3500 just to kind of get my perspective. But in time, I'm sure one of these trucks will come available and maybe I could do a testing for it. But all in all, I'm still happy with my Chevy. I just think that GM needs to add more horsepower. But good job to Ram today. Hey, 1 MPG better. So, I mean, well, 0.9 MPG if you want to be technical. And yeah, it definitely has that performance off the line. I mean, granted it has the 410, but that's not available on the Chevy. See you guys in the next video.